Yeah, hoy, hoy, Keegs, Kyle, and Dan. And Keegs, you're in your final week of spring training, and we have big news. The Jays have named an opening day starter.
Finally. And you know what? It's damn good that it's Kevin Gausman. Okay, I'm not supposed to be rooting for anyone to have advantages over anyone, but I like a good story, and Kevin Gausman deserves to have this story. Okay, it's been amazing to think back the last 4 years. It went Berrios, Manoah, Berrios, Berrios. Okay, and it makes you realize, wow, at the time those were all legitimate options. But Gausman has always been that second in line. A couple of years ago, he built up a bit slower. He wasn't quite ready. But Gausman, in his last year of this 5 year, $110 million deal, it's already paid for itself. He can put up a 20 ERA this year. I don't care. He has been one of the best free agent signings in team history, and he has represented this organization as well as anyone that I've covered. Okay, that's on the field, that's off the field. That's how he's embraced Toronto and embraced Canada. He's been a dream signing, a model teammate, and he's really good at what he does. So John Schneider said, it's about time, and he's right. So good to see Gausman get this. Then you go Cease and whoever else after that, you're in good shape. But they got number one right, man, especially coming off that postseason performance.
And focusing on something you just said there too, Keegs, whether or not at the end of this season he puts up the best numbers for any of their starting pitcher, there is a leadership component of this that is probably very important this season ahead of most for the Jays to get out of the gate with, is there not?
Oh, extremely. An opening day, it's different, and it matters that it's different. Okay, this is like the postseason because on opening day you're going to have a lot more media. There's going to be a lot more of me and cameras around. The average Blue Jays game has what, 10 or 12 reporters, TV people, cameras. Opening day has 50. Okay, every news channel in the city has a camera down there asking questions that you may not hear in the middle of June, if you know what I mean. So there's way more spotlight. There are delays. There's going to be a ceremony. There will be a 45-minute video about the AL champions and the 50th season. There's just a lot of extra crap going on. Okay. And it matters that you can handle that. And Kevin Gausman can handle that. Absolutely. And the Blue Jays are looking at a start to their season. And this matters because Gausman will come back. He'll be the next guy to come back as number 6, game 11. The start of their season is wide open for them to go like 7-1, 11-3 type of thing, right? Starting off against the A's and the Rockies. So the A's have a lot of young talent. I actually think they're a super cool team, but they're not the Blue Jays yet, okay? And if you can get off to a hot start and get some momentum, that's where the money is. I mean, guys, think back to last year. And I selfishly remember this because this series happened just before my book came out, and the Blue Jays were like waffling below 500. And I thought, oh my God, they swept the A's in 4 games, May 28th to June 1. That's when their season took off. Okay. They were floating around nothing for 2 months, and we didn't know who they'd be. If they can get off to a hot start, changes everything. And in a division that's going to be this good, that's a very nice place to be.
Can't wait for opening night in Toronto where there's going to be a standing ovation for every player that comes to the plate. I want to get back to Gausman for a sec. And the reason that I really started to admire him, aside from what he does on the mound, is the way you describe him. And you said he is the least pro athlete off the field that you'd ever meet, if I'm summing it up correctly.
Oh, absolutely. He's a normal guy who just happens to be really good at throwing a baseball, and he has a great splitter. Kevin Gausman, I think Blue Jays fans, broadly speaking, they want to feel chosen in Canada because I know the narratives of will a player come to Canada, those are long gone. Those are exhausted. They kill me at this point. But I understand that they're still in the minds of some fans. And over the years, like we're in a new era right now for a lot of fans of players choosing Toronto. George Springer started that, Ryu, Berrios extending. Like you have lots of examples now. But Gausman hasn't just come here to make money and leave. His family has been here. You've seen his daughters around the field throwing out first pitches. He's been involved in the community and with the team. It matters because he's been more than just a baseball player. He's actually been part of the organization, not just a hitman who flies in for 90 nights a year and plays baseball, right? That's different. It matters. And what happens after this year, we'll see. I'd love to see the Blue Jays keep Gausman in Toronto if he wants to keep pitching. But he is someone who I think has an excellent balance between the real world and baseball. Like I think he is still a human being outside of the game, which I can't say for everyone. Like you guys have been around pro sports, you know, a lot of these guys, when the sport goes away, they fall apart because they have not built a life or a personality. Gausman is his own person outside of the game as well, which is why he fascinates me. Probably one of my all-time favorite players to cover. Always will be.
And speaking of players choosing Toronto, what are we seeing early? What are the returns on Dylan Cease so far, both from like a pitching perspective, but as a person fitting into this clubhouse?
Man, interesting dude. Okay, you're going to hear a lot of fun stories about Dylan Cease over the course of a year, and if you get him going, I mean, you have no idea where the next 5 minutes are going to go. Okay, you're talking about his passion for disc golf 1 second, then you're on to vintage teas, then you're on to yoga, then you're on to wine, then it's he is an eccentric and a fascinating person to me, and I think that part of his brain is what makes him a great pitcher. Now, for some pitchers, it is I'm trying to think, like Roy Halladay, that obsessive, intense competitor every single day. Dylan Cease is different. It's this frantic, obsessive search for knowledge and for that next pitch and for what works for him. He is going to have, I think, the highest upside of any starter we've seen here since, I mean, goodness, probably since the Roy Halladay era. You know, it's when you go back to it, if anyone can take a run at those Roger Clemens strikeout numbers, maybe it's Cease, but I don't think those ever get touched. Dylan Cease has real Cy Young upside. Okay, if he finishes top 3 in the Cy Young, that's not going to shock anybody. Okay, because he has what you need, which is health. You got to stay healthy to win the Cy Young, and he can strike guys out. If that works in a year where his ERA is 2.85, you can win a Cy Young that way. So I'm fascinated to see how this works. He's always been good enough. It's just about consistency at this point. Can he be that good every single day? We've seen great years. We've seen average years from him. But I think people are going to like him a lot. And just when you look at him walking into the stadium, he's got some wild t-shirt on with a big like ponytail in the hair and a mustache. Like what you see is what you get. And I think fans are really going to love him.
Can we back up? Vintage teas. Are we talking like teas they find in shipwrecks? I didn't know vintage teas was a thing.
Get out of here, Dan.
What? I'm serious.
I apologize.
Or t-shirts.
T-shirts.
But hey,
see, that's why I was like, vintage tea.
I think vintage TEA.
Now this has me thinking: are vintage teas like teas you drink? Is that a thing? Like, do they find them in old castles and stuff? They say, I got an 1846 Earl Grey.
You know what, Dan? The biggest hipster on Ossington right now is hearing you. The biggest hipster on Queen West and in Brooklyn is listening to this right now saying, oh my God.
I think we have a side business, guys. I think
he's
we
also
found something.
His beard, Keegan.
Absolutely. If you can convince the hipsters to pay for something, put the word artisanal in front of something, that could be all of our ticket out of this. I think we found it.
Daulton Varsho, what's going on with him? Is this a new Varsho?
Man, the motivation of money. Don't you love it? It's no matter what, bet on the guy in a contract year. Okay. This applies. We see this all the time in the NFL, guys in a big contract year. I don't think we talk about it enough in baseball, frankly. I don't think we do. And Varsho, if he can stay healthy, guys, last year he had 20 home runs in 70 some games. He is pound for pound, maybe the strongest person on this team. Like Vladdy's a bit stronger, but Vladdy is also 150% Varsho's size, right? Like Varsho he might be listed at 5'8". I don't know about that, but he is rock solid, incredibly strong, such a good athlete. And the power he generates from that swing is really special. Like watching him taking batting practice and stuff, like he's not just running into pitches. He has pure, natural, raw power. His home run high in his career, I think, is 27 from back with the D-backs. If he stays healthy, he can hit 30 plus quite easily. And the power we're seeing from him right now, especially to the opposite field, guys, he used to just be pull the ball over and over. But to the opposite field is really exciting. So if he can hit 25, 32 home runs and enter free agency as an elite defender as well, he might be one of the best free agents next year. Like this might be another year where the Blue Jays have one of the top free agents. So If he hits 19 homers and is hurt a bit, then he's a really weird free agent. Like, how do you value an outfielder who's close to 30, defense first with a bit of power? He'd have a massive range between ceiling and floor. But if the power comes, Daulton Varsho has as much potential to make himself money as anyone in baseball, frankly, at this point. The ceiling is really exciting, and it's just got to come together once, man. If you have that big contract year, then everything before this starts to look like potential, right? If you have a bad year now, then everything gets muddied. But, man, it's a huge opportunity for him. Great teammate, great guy around the clubhouse. But it's, he doesn't want to talk about it. And I kind of have a rule where once the season starts, I'm not going to bug a guy about free agency. But it is a massive story. And there is no motivation in the world, I would imagine, like tens of millions of dollars.
So putting aside the 3-hour commercial for the automated balls and strike system that was that baseball game we watched in the WBC last night, Keeks, how have you felt about the performance of the players from the Blue Jays throughout this WBC? They've had a lot of key guys and a lot of bit players there as well.
It's been great to watch Vladdy, guys. I know he'll be back in camp. I'm assuming maybe tomorrow we'll see Vladdy back in camp. Off day, but maybe Wednesday. Vladdy, I think, can springboard this right into the rest of the season. And I think that the WBC could be one of the best things to happen to the Blue Jays because Vladdy is engaged, he is revved up, and he's excited now. And excited Vladdy is a very dangerous Vladdy, and I think this is a great thing for Toronto. I think we could see not playoff Vladdy, that's Barry Bonds, right? But I think we could see a really damn good version of Vladdy this year. And then to have other players like Andres Jimenez, Ernie Clement headed to the finals, I think to a lesser extent that still applies. It piques your interest a bit. It gets you fired up for the season because after spring training, you're staring down the barrel of 162 games. You're not at maximum excitement every single day. Okay. None of us are. That applies to players too. You have peaks and valleys. This should eliminate some of the valleys. You're really locked in from the very beginning. And Jimenez is one that I'm quietly pretty interested to see, guys. I think at shortstop, over a healthy season, ideally, he's got to be healthy. You are going to see one of the best defensive infielders in the game. And I think that Jimenez can position himself better in the minds of Blue Jays fans. Okay. I don't think that you saw enough of that wow factor defense at second base, but you will at shortstop, which means that when he goes 0 for 4 with a few weak groundouts, I think people will be more able to say, hey, whatever, he's the best defender in the league. Okay. If he hits a little bit, look out. That changes everything. But his defense alone is brilliant. Like, it is absolutely incredible. And I think we're going to see that way more at shortstop. Going from Bichette to Jimenez at shortstop, that's a different genre of music, man. This is a different game, so I think people will really like that.
By the way, guys, some 100-year-old tea cakes I sold for over $20,000. I digress. Not sure if you guys saw. Sorry to distract from that and the WBC, but I saw a breakdown of the IKF play at home, and people, after further video review, said he was actually out by 3 feet because the catcher's foot was on the plate. So this makes us feel better, right?
I like how relitigated this has become.
It will never go away.
Ever. And no matter what you argue in baseball, like, I could argue that Barry Bonds hit left-handed, and there would be some guy being like, well, actually, it fascinates me because guys, and like, I've thrown that around. Like, when I do a lot of radio and TV and writing, I've had to talk about that play 500 times, and probably 300 of those I've just casually said they were inches away from. And I get that feedback a lot. Well, actually, here's a screenshot of okay, I'm not there with a measuring tape. Blue Jays fan 18984. Okay, I'm kind of speaking, half factually, half metaphorically here. They were inches away from winning, but I don't know if IKF will feel any better about that. I think the next time I see Isaiah, who again was a player who I really liked working with and really respected. That will not be something I bring up to that man.
Where is he now?
I don't think he is in Boston. Actually, okay. I think so. He'll be around, but I hope no one gives him a hard time for that. But man, that will be the thing. Guys, I think that sticks. I think 20, 30 years from now, that's easy. What are the examples? Like the Gruber triple players. That's something that people will still talk about.
Okay, well, I would like to tie things up. We have to finish with Mad Max because we hear George Springer saying things like just being ecstatic that this guy's back in the clubhouse, this guy's back on the mound. Can you talk a little bit about like the general consensus being exactly that in this clubhouse? Just love having this guy around for the intensity he brings. It's an upgrade, is it not?
It is, and he's healthy, guys.
Yeah.
And talking about motivation, once he gets past 65 or 70 innings, every 10 innings is $1 million. Okay, like we should have like a horn that goes off in the stadium and everything starts flashing like a casino every 10 innings. That means every second start could be another $1 million in his pocket. There's never been more motivation to stay healthy and stay on the mound than Max Scherzer has right now. Not that he's ever lacked it, but everybody likes the guy. And guys, the more I've talked about the 25 and 26 Blue Jays, the more I keep coming back to the idea that they are a serious baseball team. It's the word I keep using. And when you're a team that's in the middle, you're trying to take shots on fringy players. You're trying to chase upside with – no, this is a serious baseball team that has stars, and their fringe players, their bench players are still guys like Nathan Lucas, David Schneider, who are solid, serious MLB players, okay? Max Scherzer brings that energy, okay? There's not going to be a lackadaisical clubhouse with Max Scherzer in it, okay? When you are around him, everything is ratcheted up a little bit. Everything is intense. And this isn't about him being like a mentor. Like he's not sitting down with his arm around Trey Savage every day saying, Trey, when I was your age, I see so. No, okay? Like I think we project that on like star athletes too much. Like, oh, this quarterback got drafted by New England. Tom Brady will be so nice to him. No, okay? You don't understand how these guys work. That's not always the play. But just the aura and the energy he brings to a clubhouse, it's serious. The expectations are a championship. And by bringing Scherzer in, the Jays are saying, like, hey, I know we have 7 starters. Screw it, okay? I know Eric Lauer wants to be in the rotation. Whatever. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. There's no room for feelings. There's no room for leftover thoughts from last year. They're acting like a team that's trying to win a World Series. They did not do that for a lot of years, so I love it.
There's no room for feelings. The 2026 Toronto Blue Jays. Let's go have ourselves a Monday, boys.
New hashtag.
Thanks, Keys.